Okay, perfect. So I think it's recording now.
Yep, I just approved it on my end.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we can start whenever you're ready.
I'm ready to go.
Awesome. Thank you. So the first list of questions is a leadership assessment. So it is on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is never and 5 is always. Tell us about leadership priorities that you perceive from a leader. So it could be any leader that you have, just like somebody that you have in mind. You don't have to name them or give us any details on them, but listing where 1 is never and 5 is always, just tell us about these qualities in your leader. So the first one is, does this leader seek input from experts when necessary?
I would say a 4. I feel like everyone at my station definitely seeks out, all the information they need. I hear the baby.
Yeah, he's just chilling.
Yeah.
Awesome. So the second question is, do they seek commitment of others to common goals?
I'd say a 5 on that one.
Awesome. Do they generate new resources to serve the organization goals?
Maybe like a 4 on that.
Perfect. Do they articulate a clear vision of the road ahead?
Yeah, 5, definitely.
Awesome. Do they run meetings and make presentations efficient?
I don't know if any business ever makes meetings efficient. So maybe a 3 on that one, but the information is always good.
Awesome. Do they demonstrate a caring attitude towards others?
Definitely a 5.
Perfect. Do they question assumptions underlying how the group worked?
4.
Great. Do they exhibit a sense of humor? Do they step in and redirect destructive conflict?
Yeah, 5 on that.
That's really good. Do they demonstrate flexibility in responding to tough issues in the workplace?
Yeah, I would say definitely a 5 on that as well.
Do they offer solutions to problems that the group could be your organization, that your organization faces?
Yeah, I would say 5.
Awesome.
Great all around.
Do they share information across different groups in the organization? So do they talk to everybody?
Yeah, I would say like a 4.
Perfect. Do they have in-depth knowledge of how to accomplish tasks at hand?
A 5.
Awesome. Do they have honesty and forthrightness in dealing with other people?
Yes, 5.
Awesome. That's good. Do they communicate with outsiders to learn what they think?
Yeah, like a 4.
Perfect with that one. Do they generate a creative solution to respond to problem solving? So do they think outside the box?
Yeah, I would say probably like a 4 on one as well. Your baby's trying to answer the questions for me.
He's just chilling right here. He just wants to be a part of the interview. He's
Yeah,
like, wants to be
he
on the
does.
camera.
It's like, put me in front of the camera.
He might have to be in a second, but I think he's good. Do they consistently build on other ideas and problem-solving discussions? So do they listen to other people and then add input onto what other people?
Yeah, I would say probably a 4 on that one too.
That's awesome. Do they work to include all cultural and ethnic groups in discussion?
Yeah, I would say a 5 on that one. Very active in that.
That's really important. And do they incorporate I cannot speak. Do they incorporate diverse ideas into decision making?
Yes, a 5.
Awesome. Do they promote recognition of others' contributions? So do they give credit where credit is due?
Yes, definitely a 5 on that one. We have a whole program dedicated to shouting people out. So
Oh, that's nice.
very important to them.
Yeah, that's really good, because I know a lot of news organizations that's not thought of as
Yeah,
much.
that's not been my whole career has not been like that. So it's very appreciated.
That's so cool. Okay, so these are just questions. So this next section is just basically the same thing. But it's in your mind, what do you think are the example that people should set with their communication skills. So um, you're going to rate these where 1 is never and 5 is always. And these are just questions about what you personally think of. Do you think this is an important thing to do when you communicate with others? Or do you think never, never do this? So would
Got
you
it.
always do this or would you never do it? And it's, again, a scale of 1 to 5 where 1 is never, 5 is always.
Cool.
Alrighty. So your first question is, in important conversations, do you insist upon precise definitions?
Probably a 3 on that one.
Good. Do you always give good reasons why the other party should accept their ideas?
Oh yeah, I'd say 4.
Awesome. To be friendly, would you verbally acknowledge others' comments quite often?
Yes, definitely a 5.
Perfect. Do you try not to rush to conclusion before all the issues have been explained?
Yeah, I would say a 4.
That's a good one.
Gotta hear everyone out.
Yeah. Do you always reveal your personal opinions?
Probably a 3.
That's a good one. Do you
As
like
well.
to keep focused on the topic until it has been explored completely?
I get pretty sidetracked easily, so I'd probably say it too.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I usually have like 6 things on my plate at once.
Right, yeah, I'm the same way. Are you very detail oriented when the conversation is important?
Yeah, I would say a 5 on that one.
Awesome. Do you try to explore the full range of issues under consideration?
Yeah, like a 4.
Perfect. There are so many questions here. he, he just like made a whole list of everything that has to do with communication.
That's okay. I got the answers.
Yay, that's good. Okay, so the next one is, do you expect others to be open while you interact with them?
Yeah, that's very important to me. I'm like a 5 on that.
Perfect. Do you think it's important to smile when you meet other people?
5.
Yeah.
I'm always smiling.
That's a good thing though, because it like makes you more open, so people are more willing to
Yeah.
like tell
Especially
you
in
everything.
this industry when you're interviewing people that might be nervous or anything like that. I always have a smile on my face to make people kind of feel at ease.
Yeah, it's so nice. It helps people open up. I found when I'm interviewing, if I don't smile, they're always like very scared and very tense. But if you smile and just like make conversation with them, it just relaxes the whole experience, which is nice.
Exactly.
Do you like to be accurate when you communicate to avoid any misunderstandings?
Yes, a 5.
Perfect. Do you like to make sure that you do your homework on any topic before you're negotiating it?
Yeah, say probably 4.
Awesome. Does it bother you when a discussion is dropped about an issue that has not yet been dissolved?
Yeah, I would probably say a 4 on that.
Perfect. Do you react in a way that the other party knows that you're listening when you're doing communication?
Yeah, I'm pretty active, probably a 5. Lots
Perfect.
of head nodding.
Yeah. That's one of the most important things. Sometimes I have a bad habit of like zoning off when I'm in class, and then I'm like, oh, wait a
You're
second.
like, I am not engaged right now.
Not active listening.
Mhm.
Do you tend to be very encouraging to the people around you in conversations?
I'm definitely a 5 on that one.
That's awesome. If appropriate, would you tell the other party a lot about themselves, even if you just met the other person?
Probably.
That's so
I
good.
would maybe a 4, but yeah, I'm definitely overshare for sure.
I'm the same way. Alrighty. So on to the next section of these questions, which this one is regarding feelings about an immediate supervisor. So it could be really anyone or any job that you've ever had, basically. So it doesn't have to be where you currently work. Again, you don't have to name the person or give us any details on them, but it's just on. He wants to answer the questions.
So, Mom, let me answer. I got you.
He's like, I know. He knows the answers. So on a scale of where 1 would be strongly disagree and 7 is strongly agree, just thinking about any supervisor you've ever had.
Okay.
So the first one is when someone criticizes my supervisor, it feels like a personal insult.
Not really for me. Maybe like a 2.
Sounds good.
Can
When I
handle
talk
themselves.
for sure. When I talk about my supervisor, I usually say we rather than they.
Maybe a 2.
Okay, cool. My supervisor's success is my success.
That one more. Probably like a 4 on that one.
Cool. When someone praises my supervisor, it feels like a personal compliment.
Like a 3.
Awesome. I value a sense of ownership for my supervisor. That's good.
I feel like I've always been separated myself very much from my supervisor or anyone.
Right. I do that.
People.
Yeah, I do that with my bosses too because I'm not like the same person. I'm like I'm happy when they like get recognition, but I'm like at the same time I'm like it's not me that they're
right. You're like, this is great, love that for you, but doesn't quite affect me as much.
Alrighty. The next one is if the values of my supervisor were different, I would not be as attached to my supervisor.
Yeah, 3.
Awesome. Since starting whatever job this may be, my personal values and those of my supervisor have become more similar.
I would say a 2.
Awesome. The reason why I would prefer my supervisor to others is because of what he, she, they stand for.
Like a 4.
Perfect. Alrighty, so on to the next section, and this one is going to be basically about supervisor leadership priorities. So it can be any supervisor, any job, don't have to name the person, same criteria.
Okay. Cool.
Except this one's on a scale of 1 to 5 again, so it switches back to 1 to 5 where 1 would be never, 5 is always.
Okay.
So the first one is does this supervisor seek input from experts when necessary?
Like a 4.
Perfect. Do they seek the commitment of others to common goals?
Like a 4 for that too.
Awesome. Would they generate new resources to serve the organization's goals?
Like a 5, definitely.
Perfect. Would they articulate a clear vision of the road ahead?
Yeah, 5.
Awesome. Do they run meetings and make their presentations effective and efficient?
3.
Do they demonstrate the caring attitude towards everyone around them?
5.
Awesome. Do they step in and redirect destructive conflict?
5.
Perfect. Do they have in-depth knowledge of how to accomplish any task?
4.
Perfect. Do they show honesty and forthrightness in dealing with the organization and the people that are around them?
Definitely a 5.
Awesome. Do they incorporate diverse ideas into decision making in their workplace?
Yeah, 5.
Awesome. All right. And this is the last section that's going to be like this. And this is just, again, same style. 1 is never, 5 is always. And it's about this supervisor's communication styles.
Okay.
And a lot of these are just repeats. So I'm going to skip over the ones that are like close to the other ones.
Okay, cool.
So, does your supervisor always make sure that the other party understands their priorities?
Yeah, like a 4.
Perfect. Does your supervisor always try to rush to a conclusion before all issues have been explained?
No, I'm probably maybe like a 2 on that.
Awesome. Does your supervisor like to reveal their personal opinions?
Mm, Like a 3.
Awesome. Do they like to keep focused on the topic until it has been completely explored?
Mm, 3.
Awesome. Are they a ready listener? Do they like to listen very carefully to every party?
Like a 4.
Awesome. Do they always insist that people give examples for what they are saying in meetings?
Mm, Not always, maybe like a 2.
Perfect. Do they expect other people to be open with them when they're interacting together?
Yeah, I would say a 5 for sure.
Awesome. Does your supervisor think it's important to smile during a meeting?
Yes. A 5.
Awesome.
Makes it a little bit better.
Yeah, for sure. Do they make sure that they do their homework on the topics that they discuss with their employees at meetings?
I'd say 5.
Awesome. Does the supervisor tend to be an engaging listener and encourage other people to speak?
Yeah, I'd say 4.
Perfect. Alrighty, so these next questions are more like open-ended questions, like you can say as much or as little as you want to about the topic, and there's only a few of them, so it's not going to take like an extremely long period of time.
Oh, no worries.
So the first one is, what do you think any supervisor, so this could be anyone that you've ever had in the industry, or maybe not in the industry, just someone that's been a supervisor to you, what suggestions would you have for them that you think that they could possibly improve on as a leader of their organization or company or brand?
Um, I think that something I've dealt with past supervisors is just a lack of feedback. And so I think that a supervisor that's willing to always work with their employees to help them improve and become better at their job is super important.
Awesome. Um, what do you think any supervisor that you've ever had in your career has been excellent at as a leader? So what is something that they like knock the ball out of the park on that they're really great at doing?
Um, well, I've worked on a few different shows, and I think that a lot of my supervisors have always been on the hunt for improving the shows that I'm on. And so they're always looking for new ideas and fun ways to kind of spice things up. And I think that that's always fun and, always working towards the goal of just making it better.
That's super cool.
Mhm.
Do you think that the supervisors that you had, do you think that they have had realistic expectations for your shows and like for the stuff that's going on?
Um, yeah, I think that sometimes supervisors can have too high of expectations sometimes based on the resources or things that are offered. I've worked in, smaller markets, and sometimes they have expectations for, something that would be manageable in a bigger market. And so, but for the most part, I think that, through communication and talking, they've been able to have pretty realistic expectations.
Perfect. Um, do you feel that any labor that you put in on your job or like outside of your job, do you feel like it's valued by your supervisors and by your organizations?
Yeah, and again, that's kind of varied over different jobs that I've had. Some supervisors haven't felt as appreciated, and then more recently I have felt extremely appreciated
Right.
for all the work that I've done. And so it varies, but overall I think that they do try and make an effort to show that appreciation.
Awesome. So it looks like one of my last questions that I have is, what is your highest level of education?
I have a bachelor's degree in broadcast journalism.
Perfect. Thank you so much for doing this interview and taking the time out of your
Of
day to do
course.
it.
Not a problem at all.
I know some of these questions probably seem redundant because they're like They're like the same exact
Okay,
question.
I remember having to do this stuff in school, and you're just like, really? This is what you're giving me right now?
He was like, he gave it to us, and we were like, okay, this is great. What do we do with it? And he's like, you're gonna have to ask as many people as you can find that these questions. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be
Like,
fun.
oh, great. Here we go.
They're gonna love this.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind at all. I remember being in school and having to do this, so I don't mind helping at all.
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for doing this interview on such short notice. I extremely appreciate it. And I've watched you on Charlotte, and
Yay.
I love watching you. I feel like you have great
Oh,
segments. So
thank you. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you reaching out to me.
yeah, of course. I really appreciate, again, I just really appreciate you doing this with me.
No
If
problem
you
at
need
all.
a copy of the recording or anything, I'm more than happy to send it to you if you want it.
You're
Um,
all good.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
I guess I really don't have any other questions.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But
You let
thank
me know.
you.
You let me know if you need anything else from me.
Of course. Thank you so much for your time. And I hope
Of
you have an amazing rest of your day. And
too. Good
Whew,
luck with the rest of this project.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye.